Good morning and welcome. Happy Father's Day. So probably no surprise, today we're going to talk about fathers and the divine masculine. Every spiritual tradition on earth recognizes the divine masculine. He has 1,000 names and 1,000 faces, and each name reveals something essential about who he is and what he brings to the world. In Norse mythology, he is Odin, the All-Father. Odin is the seeker of wisdom who hung himself from the world tree for 9 days and nights to gain the knowledge of the runes. He sacrificed his eye to drink from the well of wisdom. Odin shows us that the sacred masculine is willing to sacrifice for knowledge, to endure hardships for understanding. He is the father who teaches through example, who shows that true strength includes the courage to seek wisdom at any cost. The ancient Greeks and Romans knew him as Zeus or Jupiter, the sky father. He is the ruler of the heavens, the bringer of justice and order, the protector of the realms. Zeus represents divine authority, the father energy that establishes structure and maintains balance. He is the thunderbolt that clears the air, the power that protects what is sacred. In his highest expression, he is the benevolent king who uses power to serve, not to dominate. In Hindu tradition, he is Shiva, the transformer, the destroyer of illusion, the cosmic dancer. He is the masculine energy that knows when to tear down what no longer serves, so that new life can emerge. He is the father who teaches that destruction is sometimes an act of love, that endings create space for beginnings. Shiva dances the universe into being and out of being, reminding us that creation and destruction are two faces of the same divine power. In Egypt, he is Ra, the sun god, the illuminator, the life giver. Ra travels across the sky each day, bringing light and warmth, making life possible. He is the provider, the one whose very presence sustains all living things. He is the father energy that shows up every single day, reliable as the sunrise, giving what is needed without asking for recognition. Across cultures, he is known as the sky father, the sun, the king, the protector, the teacher, the guide. Different names, different faces, but the same recognition. There is a masculine aspect to the divine, and he is the one who protects, provides, structures, guides, empowers, and leaves a legacy. What is father energy really? It's bigger than biology. It's deeper than gender. It's the force that protects and provides, that creates structure and teaches discipline, that offers wisdom and guidance, that models strength and courage, that empowers. Father energy is protection. It's the fierce guardian who stands between danger and those he loves. It's the one who scans the horizon for threats, who stays alert so others can rest. It's the willingness to put yourself on the line for someone else's safety. The sacred masculine protects without controlling, guards without smothering, and creates safety without creating dependence, which sounds like a pretty fine line to walk. Father energy is provision. It's showing up for work day after day to put food on the table. It's making sure there's a roof overhead and heat in the winter. It's not just material provision, though, that matters. It's also providing emotional security, spiritual guidance, stability, and chaos. The divine masculine provides generously, not to create obligation, but because caring for others is an honor. Father energy, and again, we're speaking of energy, is structure and discipline. It's teaching boundaries, not as punishment, but as love. Children need limits to feel safe. They need to know where the edges are. The sacred masculine provides that structure. Father energy is wisdom and guidance. It's the one who's been down the road before and can show you the way. It's teaching you to fish, not just giving you one. It's modeling how to handle difficulty, how to make hard choices, how to keep going when things get tough. The divine masculine doesn't solve all your problems for you. It gives you the tools to solve them yourself. It believes in your capacity to figure it out. Father energy is strength and courage. It's facing what's hard without flinching. It's admitting when you're wrong. It's doing the right thing even when it costs you. It's showing your children that fear is normal, but courage is acting anyway. The sacred masculine doesn't pretend to be invulnerable. He shows that real strength includes vulnerability, that asking for help is brave, and that tears don't make you weak. The divine masculine doesn't keep his children dependent. He makes them strong enough, skilled enough, and confident enough to leave. And he leaves a legacy not of control from beyond the grave, but of values, of lessons learned, and of love that endures. In unity, we've always understood that God is both father and mother. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore honored the masculine aspect of the divine just as they honored the feminine. They knew that to see God as only one or the other was to miss the wholeness. We need both, and we are both. Today, on Father's Day, we're going to explore the Father in all his forms. The Father we had, the Father some of us are, or chose not to be, or long to be. The Father Sky who holds us all. The archetypal Father energy that lives within each of us, regardless of our gender, whether we've ever raised children. So let's start with the Father we had. When I say the Father you had, you know exactly who I'm talking about. He might be the man who fathered you biologically. He might be the man who adopted you, who chose you, who raised you as his own. He might be a grandfather who stepped in when your biological father couldn't or wouldn't. He might be your uncle or an older brother, your mom's partner, your mentor, your coach. He might be a teacher who saw something in you and called it forth. Whoever he was, he gave you something. Even if he was difficult, even if he was absent, even if he wounded you, he gave you life, or he gave you care, or he gave you an example of the kind of man you wanted to become, or what kind of man you swore you'd never be. And that is something. For some, Father's Day can be hard because we're supposed to celebrate, and sometimes the relationship is complicated. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes the man that raised you did his best, and it still wasn't enough. Sometimes he was dealing with his own wounds, and he passed them on to you. Sometimes he was limited by his time or circumstances or his own unhealed places. For many, the father wound is deep. The father who wasn't there physically or emotionally. The father who was and was too harsh or too distant or too consumed by his own demons to see you. The father who loved you but didn't know how to show it. The father who confused, providing with presence, and he gave you things but not himself. And some had fathers who were violent, who used their strength to dominate instead of protect, who confused authority with tyranny. Some are still healing from the father who hurt us. You can honor your father without idealizing him. You can be grateful for what he gave while also acknowledging what he couldn't. Both things are true. He did his best, and his best may have had gaps. He loved you in the only way he knew how, and maybe it wasn't the way you wanted or needed. You carry his strengths, and you carry his wounds. That's the inheritance. And here's what's beautiful. You get to decide what to do with that inheritance. You can break the cycles while still honoring the lineage. You can say, thank you for what you gave me, and I'm going to heal what you couldn't heal. I'm going to give myself what you couldn't give me. I'm going to love differently, father differently, show up differently. That's not a betrayal of him. That's evolution. That's growth. And that's you becoming the father to yourself that you may have needed. The absent father teaches us something too. His absence showed you what you longed for. It showed you what presence looks like by its lack. And maybe you've become the person who shows up, who's there, who doesn't leave. Maybe his absence made you determined to be present. That's turning the wound into wisdom. Forgiveness and gratitude can coexist. You don't have to choose. You can say, I forgive you for your limitations, and also I'm grateful for your gifts. You can hold the complexity. And on Father's Day, maybe that's enough. Maybe the point isn't to make it all neat and tidy. Maybe the point is to tell the truth about the full picture. Now, for those of you who are fathers yourselves, whether to human children or fur babies or your students or mentees, I want to acknowledge that fathering is hard. It's sacred work that often goes unnoticed. And Father's Day can be complicated when you're a father because the culture wants to give you a tie and a card and celebrate. And maybe most days you're just trying to show up, trying to be present, to not repeat mistakes that your father made. And you know that you're going to do that sometimes. You're going to lose your patience, or you don't always have the wisdom or the energy or the right words. And just like all parents, you're making it up as you go a lot of times, hoping you're not messing it up too badly. Not everyone has a Hallmark card relationship with fatherhood. Some of you are grieving today because you wanted children and couldn't have them. Some of you may be estranged from your children. Some of you may be raising children alone and you're exhausted. Some of you chose not to have children and you're tired of being questioned about it. Some of you lost a child, and Father's Day can be a knife in your heart. All of that is valid, all of that is real, and all of that is held here today. If you are fathering children right now, I want you to know that daily, often unglamorous work that you're doing matters. The practices driven to or possibly coached, the games attended, the homework helped with, the talks in the dark before bed, the modeling of what it means to be a good human, the showing up over and over again. Again, it may not be glamorous, but it is sacred work. Fathering has changed since past generations. You're allowed to be tender, and you're allowed to cry and be fully present emotionally in ways many of our fathers never learned to be. And you're redefining what it means to be a man, what it means to be a father. You're doing it differently, and that's good. That's evolution. And here's the paradox. The fierce love you feel for your children transforms you. It cracks you open. It makes you braver and more vulnerable at the same time. You discover you would move mountains to protect them. You discover that their pain is your pain, their joy is your joy, and you discover that your heart can hold more than you ever thought possible. And then they grow up and you have to let go. That's part of it too. Fathering is learning when to hold on and when to release, when to protect, when to let them experience consequences, when to speak and when to trust they'll figure it out. It's an art, not a science, and you learn it by doing it imperfectly and then trying again. For those of you who chose not to have children, your choice is valid and valuable, and I'm sure you father in other ways. You mentor or guide, you teach and protect and empower. And none of that makes you less than. You're not missing out. You made a choice that honored your own truth, and that's powerful. For those who wanted children and couldn't have them, I see you and I honor your grief. Father's Day can be painful if that's what your experience was. And you get to feel however you feel about that. The ache is real and it's okay to acknowledge it. So for a moment, I want to talk about Father Sky because he is the complement to Mother Earth, and neither is complete without the other. In many indigenous traditions, the marriage of earth and sky creates all life. Mother Earth is the body, the ground, the sustaining presence. Father Sky is the expanse, the infinite, the transcendent. She is immanent. He is transcendent. She holds. He reaches. Together, they make everything possible. Father Sky is the sun, the giver of light and warmth. Every morning he rises, reliable as breath, providing what's needed for life to flourish, just like Ra in the Egyptian culture. Every culture that honored the sun understood this. The sun doesn't withhold. It doesn't play favorites. It shines on everyone, offering its gifts freely. We need both earth and sky. We need the grounding and the reaching, the nurturing and the challenging, the roots and the wings. Neither is complete without the other. In each of us, both energies live. Here's what I really hope people will understand. Everyone has access to father energy, regardless of gender. Plenty of single parents can tell you that, regardless of, even if you've never raised children. Father energy lives in all of us. It's not exclusive to men. It's not dependent on biology. It's a quality of spirit, and spirit is in everyone. So how do you father? Maybe you father yourself. You learn to provide for yourself, to create structure in your life, to protect your own boundaries, to guide others or your own growth. You've become your own authority. You've learned to trust your own wisdom. Maybe you bring that father energy to your friends or colleagues or students. You're the one that shows them the ropes, who teaches them what you know and empowers them to go further than you've gone. You protect them when they're vulnerable, and you celebrate when they succeed. Or maybe you father your projects, your creative work, your business, your vision. You provide structure that's needed for things to grow. You protect them when they're fragile. Again, you build something that will outlast you. Or maybe you father your community. You create safety for others to gather. You model integrity. You speak truth even when it's uncomfortable. You stand for something, and you leave the place better than you found it. This is father energy, the capacity to protect, provide, structure, guide, empower. You have this capacity. It's already in you. It's part of your divine nature. And maybe it's time to heal our relationship with the masculine, because toxic masculinity has wounded many. For too long, it's been defined by what it's not. Real men don't cry. Real men don't show weakness. Real men don't ask for help. Or defined by what it shouldn't be. Real men dominate, control, conquer. This is a perversion of the sacred masculine. This is what happens when masculine energy becomes twisted by the belief that power means power over instead of power with. Toxic masculinity hurts men as much as it hurts everyone else. It tells men they can't feel or be vulnerable or tender. It cuts them off from half of their humanity. It isolates them, and it kills them, literally. Men die earlier in part because they won't ask for help or admit they're struggling or reach out for connection. The sacred masculine is something entirely different. The sacred masculine knows that strength includes vulnerability, that real power is the capacity to protect without dominating, to lead without controlling, to provide without creating dependence. The sacred masculine knows that emotion isn't weakness, it's information. Tears aren't failure, they're simply release. Asking for help isn't shameful, it's wise. So, as we talk about healthy masculinity, we're remembering what father energy truly is. Authority that serves, strength that protects without violence, power that empowers others. And when we are balancing masculine and feminine within ourselves, knowing when to act and when to allow, when to speak and when to listen, when to protect and release, when we need to provide structure and when to trust the flow. This is wholeness. This is what it means to be fully human, fully divine. So let's take a few moments as we get ready for our meditation so that we can connect with the divine masculine energy within and around you. So go ahead and find a comfortable position and take a nice deep breath. Let your body settle and relax. If you're comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. Take another deep breath. Let your body relax more. Bring your attention to your spine, that central column of strength that holds you upright. Feel the support beneath you, the ground holding you up. This is the divine Father within you, the strength that's always there. Breathe into that feeling of being supported, being held, being strong enough to face what comes. Now bring to mind the fathers in your life, the man who raised you, however imperfectly it may have been. Send him gratitude for what he gave you. If there's pain there, just let it be held in this loving presence. You don't have to fix it right now. Just acknowledge it and let the Divine Father hold it with you. If you are a father yourself, place your hand on your heart and offer yourself compassion. You're doing your best. You're enough. You're loved. Feel the Father sky above you, the infinite expanse, the transcendent presence that reminds you you're part of something vast and sacred. And now feel the Father energy awakening within you, that capacity to protect, to provide, to guide and empower, to build something that matters. It's yours. It's always been yours. Rest in this knowing as we enter our minute of silence. And as we come back from our minute of silence, go ahead and just take another nice deep breath and let your body kind of shake it all off. Gently bring your awareness back to yourself, to your surroundings, to this moment. When you're ready, if you close your eyes, go ahead and open them, carrying this connection with you. Father's Day can be complicated, and if it is for you, that's okay. We don't have to make it simple or pretend it's all gratitude and grilling and golf. We can honor the full truth of fatherhood, the gifts and the wounds, the presence and the absence, the celebration and the grief. We honor the fathers who raised us imperfectly and courageously. We honor the fathers we are, trying our best in a world that's changing what fatherhood means. We honor Father Sky, who holds us in the infinite embrace. We honor the divine masculine, who protects, provides, guides, and empowers. We honor the Father energy within each of us, the capacity to stand strong, to create structure, to empower others to become who they're meant to be. The divine masculine lives in each of us. We are all children of the Father, and we are all capable of fathering in our own way. May we do so with strength, wisdom, tenderness, and love. And so it is. Thank you.